Hello and welcome back to the Michigan Disc Golf Hall of Fame Classic of 2021. We are here at BlueGill's course, one of Michigan's favorite, and on the commentator's mic, I have Matt Jackson with me. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing well. Again, excited to check out this coverage at one of Michigan's finest, and what a lot of locals call heaven on earth. I mean, for us Michiganders, it doesn't get much prettier than BlueGill.
Absolutely. And we're on the back nine here. These guys are looking to shoot a little hotter here to try to get themselves in the best position possible. It's round 2 of 3 of this event, starting with hole 10. Matt, what do we got?
Hole 10, 370 feet. It's uphill. It is a tiny gap to get into. A lot of people will drive a high-speed driver or fairway driver into the hillside, which kind of gives it that counter skip. But hitting that window by itself is a great shot.
Slanted fairway and green the whole way, so rollaways are always a possibility. And I've seen a lot of discs kind of enter these woods initially and get that kick back out into the water. So always a player just trying to get onto the hill as far as possible.
Agreed. If you don't get through, climbing that hill and maneuvering through the trees and controlling your disc to not roll down the hill once it gets to the basket is crucial.
It's such a hard hole to film too, because even though the gap is right there, it is surprisingly hard to hit. And even if you do miss the gap a little bit, like Dan's here, the first two got knocked down really early, and so you couldn't really see him land from my angle. But Dan pushed through, and he's going to be in circle for his putt.
A common Michigan trait is you miss your line but still get to the basket. This hole does give you that break every once in a while. You pull it right a little bit and it will still feed to the basket.
Yeah, 1 and 4, which is exactly what just happened. Kyle looking to just lay this up, and he's right by that basket. So easy 3 for him. Pat looking to repeat the process as well. Oh, don't roll. Okay, didn't roll. We're good. He's going to be in circle 2. 2 as in TOO, not the number 2. John's running this.
Ooh, he gave that a little wrist snap. I like that.
And great bid from him. Nearly got that to go. Nice little crew view. Dan looking to get more strokes on folks.
Oh my.
It's not stopping.
Oh. I think I'm going to be sick to my stomach.
Oh, and I'm a jerk. I made us go back and watch it again. Right on the edge there. Should have caught. You see Dan already leaning over, hands on his hips. You got to be kidding me here. And it just never had a chance to stop. It's going to go all the way down, halfway down that hill at least. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
How do you regather your focus after something like that? You know, you're in the middle of a tournament. This is only round 2, so plenty of golf left, which obviously you can tell yourself, but man, that's a rattler for sure.
And he gave it a bid on that up the hill and was real close to making that.
But if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Dan Treece. That's what makes him so great. Competitor to the very last hole.
For sure. That's why we put him on the Crew 42 team.
We do love Dan Treece.
All right, headed to hole 11. This is another new hole. It's 2 holes combined. It is 630 feet. If I had to make any critique, it would be that it's the most unfair hole based on its gap. Where the drone is right now, past this first big tree, this is all fair, open fairway, and then this little tight kind of walking path from basket to pad is the gap you still have to follow through into the next hole, and then from there you're following all the way left on this traditional hole that's already 400 feet. Very difficult, lots of trees. This is a hole where numbers can explode on you. In fact, most people's numbers on this hole exploded on the day.
Let's put this into consideration. The OG hole is the second half of this hole, and that hole by itself, it's hole 14, is a brute. You know, talking big numbers. So you combine these two, which is hole 13, which we're teeing off right now, is a must get. It's about 230 on the regular course. But combining these holes is one of the most intimidating things I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, and I actually talked to some locals that were there. I didn't get a chance to talk to Joe about it. We talked about what makes the hole, maybe if they decide to do it again in the future, how they can make it even better, and is to kind of maybe there's a couple trees in that walking path that if you cleared it, it would make it at least a little better. But this is incredibly demanding tee shot. As you see, Kyle hits an early tree and kicks left. I mean, you're just not in any type of position to like save anything. It's so difficult. And for these guys, of course, when you're playing on PDGA, it says it's a par 3 on top of it. So, you take a 5, it says you get a double bogey, and it can be, something in the back of your mind. I don't think it should play a role in their thinking, but it for some people it does. Kyle just kind of having to flick out. And yeah, that's at least in the fairway now. We have Dan also off the fairway. I mean, if your first shot isn't still on the fairway after the drive, doing exactly what Dan just did, lay up kind of to where the tee pad is of the next one, and just be ready to throw from there.
And you can see that the right side, left side. I mean, back to your original point. Once you get off the fairway, I hate to sound whiny, but it's unfair for a hole of this length and this. We're talking so skinny that it's tough. It's ruthless in a sense.
That's maybe one of the best forehands I've seen from that position ever. Kyle throwing maybe 350 at a standstill forehand, nearly turning the corner. He's looking to save his par on the hole.
And then it rolls.
Stop it. Like I said, Pat just threw a great shot, and he's off to the right, not by much, but there's enough skinny trees in front of him where it's still going to be a very difficult upshot now. Dan needs to kind of hug the corner here. This has got to be a smash, and it is. He's around the corner. On the left side, no. Stop. What is happening right now?
I know. I'm thinking in my head, like, what happened within the last couple holes that. But I mean, BlueGill does this.
He rolled farther than he threw. Here's John here. This is a pretty good spot where he's at. Hug inside that tree if he can. Yeah, and that'll work. That's going to be in a good position to get up and down minimum. Oh, he's actually closer than I thought. He might have a run there. Yeah, like I said, Pat's in a bad spot.
Look at the amount of trees you have to maneuver. You can see, like, par 5. I mean, if our game had par 6s and par 7s, totally would get it, but only 630 feet. It's a very unique hole in the game of disc golf.
Yeah, Pat going back to back, and tree hits there too. So par on the hole, actually, for the tournament, not par, hole strokes on the hole is 5.39, so it plays just a little harder than that par 5. Definitely strokes.
It's honestly lower than I thought it would be.
Yeah, standing on the pad, watching people play it, I would have anticipated it to be higher as well. Pat here looking to save this. Good height, but a little wide right. He's going to have a little comeback putt for his next shot there. John Perry. Right there. I don't think any of our guys are in position for a birdie here, right? Or even a par.
No, I think everyone's fighting for stopping the bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is this, like I said, the average 2.39 or 5.39, excuse me. When I'm looking at the scores here, I mean, really, most of them are over 2 over. Only there was one person who got a 3, and that was Scott Conway.
Props to Scott Conway.
I mean, taking 2+ strokes on everyone on the hole. That seems like a good day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hole 12, back to our normal BlueGill layout. What do we got here, Matt?
Hole 12 for the tournament. Hole 15 for the course design is what we call the double hill. I mean, it's a true par 4. It climbs one hill to a flat landing area, and then it climbs another hill to the basket. It requires honestly accurate but powerful shots to get you to the basket. You can see that the first shot curves a little bit to the right, so a little understable going up the hill is going to get you in the best spot, I think.
Yeah, Kyle just short, but it's going to be near that gap. Probably I'll have a forehand from that position. Do you think it's reachable? Like, there are some guys I can imagine, like Willie, who can throw there, but do you think you have to have really big power in order to even try to reach this hole?
I'll make a quick shout out to Nicholas Gill. I've seen him up to circle's edge, if not 40 is the best I've seen. And I mean, that's a full comfortable, like, well, I wouldn't say comfortable, but a full power throw to where you really wouldn't want to risk your accuracy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get, I mean, that's the only shot I've been playing bluegill for many years, and that's probably the best I've seen.
Dan, even just lacing that line, is still, what would you say he is, 60, 70?
I think, yeah, if you cut clean on a big throw uphill, you're going to have 70 to 80 feet.
And you can't really see it in the coverage, but there is a pipe that runs along that fairway. So if you just barely kind of look for that skip, or if your disc kind of barely gets over the hill, you might get stopped early too. Oh, John trying to get sneaky through the trees. He's going to hit early, and he's going to be on the other side of the fairway there. Kyle with that forehand that I thought he'd have. He's going to throw it high, trying to get up that hill. And he's going to be short, probably a little past circle's edge, probably circle 2 for an uphill look. John looking like he's going to go with the forehand here as well. He's going really high with it. Do you like that play, going high, trying to attack that pin position?
I do. I like being on the left side myself to do that flex forehand approach. I'm not sure that high is required, but it gives you that disc a chance to flatten out and land you by the basket.
Pat having to lay low there, just trying to get it scooted up the hill. Dan with an amazing drive here, still well outside, I think circle 2 even.
You can see he's still, like, even with a great drive, he's throwing it. He's not even putting.
But he'll have an easy birdie, which might be just strokes on folks here.
100%. What a putt.
Get in there. Let's go, Kyle. Kind of shrugged it off. He was like, I don't know if I deserve that, but it's going to count. And we'll see it on the other end here. Yeah, just barely over the edge.
How does that catch?
I mean, Kyle doesn't know. Look at that shoulder shrug. He doesn't know, but it's in there.
And for sure. Uphill, short, and it bounced forward. Hey, you get what you take in this game, and great putt.
Okay, we got John now from the woods. Just over the top of the basket. Great line. He's going to have a bit of a comeback putt there. We'll see how much of the stuff is in his way. Pat with, I'd say, 20 feet. Ooh, right side, but catches. You like these baskets here at Matt? Are the baskets here at this course, Matt?
I do, yeah. I think the Chainstar Pros are top notch, and it did add a little bit of Shazam when he switched from the disc catchers, the old Michigan disc catchers, to these. Every elite course has every elite option, and bluegill's that.
Mm-hmm. John not able to save that putt on his comeback. He's going to have to tap in a double bogey as we head over to hole 13. Another traditional bluegill course. What do we got here, Matt?
Hole 13 for the tournament. Hole 16 for the course design is a 260-foot downhill tunnel shot. You're going to have a wall of trees that sits probably anywhere from 60 to 45 feet before the basket that you need to fight through at the end. A lot of people will throw a stable putter to a mid-range on a little bit of flat to Annie and have it kind of fight down the hill.
This looks a little left from Kyle. And it is. He's luckily going to stay in the center of the fairway, so he might have a long downhill putt look at it, but definitely shorter than what he wanted. Do you think this like stable flip up to like flat is the better play, or something like it looked like Kyle's trying to go under stable and try to like kind of push right more? What one would you prefer there?
I think that's what this whole like creates, is that it takes both, but you'll see off the tee shot, it's flat for about 20 to 30 feet and then starts going downhill. So getting that nose angle to the like perfect spot is tough. So if you feel more comfortable doing that with a hyzer flip, it works. If you feel more comfortable doing that with a little flat to Annie, that works as well.
Nice. And we have Pat and Dan almost on top of one another on that right side, throwing something a little flippier. John lacing this line. Hitting a little early there with one of those trees, but he's going to have a putt as well for his birdie. Yeah, we see Kyle here a little farther back, but he still has a look. Ooh, good bid. Jinx.
You owe me a soda.
I don't drink pop. Dang it.
Good.
John
John
here
Perry for birdie?
Yeah, from 30 feet or so. Off the top. It feels like he's been real close. He's been like good line, but a little high on some of his putts. Pat, yeah, he's saying he doesn't want to lose strokes to Dan here. He's gonna keep himself going. Dan here gets his as well. Shout out to Matt Clark for this hole. In round 2, he had an ace.
Very, very sick shot.
I remember him talking about it there at the event. He was very excited about that. Feels like a tough ace to get to.
Definitely. You got to weave through some trees, throw straight, and let the hill take you in the right direction.
Maybe one of my favorite holes on the course. I don't know why. But hole 14, 333 feet. What do we got, Matt?
Hole 14 is a trickster at only 333 feet. It probably plays closer to the 400 mark. It does climb steeply uphill for the last spot, 60% of the hole. The first shot, obviously your tee shot, needs to get through the mouth of trees. You have about a 10-foot gap. Not making through that makes this hole very, very tough.
And even if you do, like, it's so uphill, like you said, that 400 foot. If you're short, it's still not an easy putt.
And your caps are burning after you walk up this hole.
I agree. I ran up there to film catch. My cardio was done for the day. Pat with a pretty good line there, just hits an early tree on the right side there, so he's going to be short. Kyle here hugging those two trees. He's going to hit early and be on the left side there. And now John trying to follow up. He is lacing this line nice and high, and he's going to be on that plateau right before the basket. Still way uphill, but it's a putt for birdie for him.
Even the last 50 feet of this hole, your 40-foot jump putt feels like an 80-foot jump putt.
And the window is, because of that angle, the window's even smaller for the basket.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like double difficult. Kyle trying to punch it up there through the woods, not able to get all the way up there. Dan's getting sneaky and hits that vine at the last second, so he's going to have a long circle's edge, maybe a little longer putt for his par opportunity. Kyle just kind of pitching it up there, trying to hit me. I should have been standing behind the basket so it could have a throw in. We got Patrick here, most of the way up the hill, but you can see he's still shut off from that birdie look. He's got a lot of stuff in his way, so he's just going to kind of pitch up there, take a tree kick, but you by the basket, take his 3 here and move on.
It's a tricky little putt by Dan. On the left side, there's this little bowl that he's sitting in. So you're kind of looking straight up towards that basket, and you kind of see, which forces you to either tug it or lay it short in a sense.
He's just a touch wide on it. So he's going to have a bogey putt on his way back. Not what he's looking to do at this stage of the game. John, though, great birdie from him.
That's a great birdie.
One of 8 people for the day to birdie this hole.
Strokes on folks.
Played as 3.3 average. So a little over that par 3 mark.
No, Dan.
Man, if round 1 was like classic Dan consistency, and then round 2 has been like, how unlucky can he get?
For a man who loves this course and treats her so well, she's kind of being mean to him.
I agree. Uncharacteristic miss for Dan, but he's going to keep grinding as we head over to hole 15, another classic hole on the course, 450 feet, but has a tight window at the end. Matt, tell us what the game plan here is.
You're climbing a pretty steep hill on this tee shot. It takes all of 450, if not a little bit more, to crest that hill and get into this. You'll see this little mouth. The basket's about 50 to 70 feet inside of this cut through woods, and a 2 is, again, strokes on folks.
I agree. That window at the end is just so narrow that it's hard to penetrate to get that birdie look. A lot of people will be, I think, either just left, like it looks like John's going to be left here because he's at the gap too early. Yeah, and so he's going to have to make this play to kind of get into the gap to give himself a putt rather than really get a look at it. It feels like you just get, like if you're a right-hand backhand player, you almost want to aim. You can kind of see me in the distance, like maybe 10 feet to the right of me, and then have the stability kind of make it come back. Pat here, I think, is honestly on a great line. I think he was a touch short.
That's still an extremely good shot.
Got our spotter there. He found it. Got Kyle here. He has plenty of power to get to this one. I know it's one he wants to get. But it looks like this is at that gap as well, and that's just going to be a miss left, I think. Yeah. And if you go too deep in there, that's a tough spot to get out as well.
It's yucky for sure.
All right, let's see how Dan handles this. Just took a ugly score on the last hole, not what he wanted to do, and you can see him. He's still kind of working through that. He's not going to be at the gap, but he's going to be short of it. Should be a pretty simple textbook up and down for him there. He's going to be far enough back where he can see the basket.
You can see on that, like, body language from the throw, he's still quite frustrated from the previous hole. But again, I've mentioned it earlier, probably in round 1, but if anyone's going to regroup and strike to the end, it's Mr. Treece.
100% agree with you. John doing some trickery stuff, and he's going to be right by the basket. Kyle can't even go over and around. He's actually having to go through the woods. I can't even see him, but I think he's forehanding it out. And yeah, he's going to be at the edge there, 20, 25 feet for his par look. Pat from a similar distance, just a touch short for his birdie opportunity. Almost got one for the card here. On the day, there were 5 birdies total, including some of our local area guys, Sam Smeagol and Willie Prince, which is no surprise seeing those guys do it. They both have a ton of power.
Big throwers. Good humans and big throwers.
So just got a couple cleanup putts here.
That looked like a little bit of an angry putt from Dan.
Yeah, I think he's going to get through it. He's got this final stretch here, and I know he likes the next hole a lot. Fits his game really well. Hole averaged at 3.18, so just a touch over par for the day. Let's see how hole 16 goes now. Matt, what's the game plan here? Righty backhand or right-hand forehand for you?
Definitely going to be it's always been a backhand. I've seen Amari throw like a flip-up forehand, but if you can aim at that big jail of trees and just miss on the inside, it's kind of your most common shot, I would think.
I think I was there when he threw a forehand. I think it was like a really flippy sidewinder or something like that, and I think he was doing it for show, and because I think he was in second place and couldn't win it, but like also was secured far enough away from third that he couldn't lose it, so just kind of did something for show, and I think he still had a pretty good look at it, but been a long time since he was there. And John, unable to miss that one tree in the center of the fairway. That one seems to catch a lot as well.
That one solo tree in the middle of the fairway is called the Larry Labine tree, and
no, it's not.
It is, and it is located in the perfect spot for a ace run, in a sense. It literally blocks your ace run.
Why is it called the Larry Labine tree?
Because he always hits it, is what I think Joe Gill says. He hits it every time.
Well, that would make sense because he's really good with mid-ranges, and it feels like a Larry mid-range kind of hole.
Definitely a buzz shot or like a neutral fairway again.
Absolutely. Dan here, turning this one a little over. He's going to be short. How far away do you think that tree gap is from the basket there?
Where Dan's sitting?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably 760. I mean, he's still out. Circle 2 is what I would say, I guess.
Okay, deep circle 2.
Yeah, you can see he's jump putting.
Let's go.
Baller putt right there.
That's what he needed. Get himself a putt back there that he missed. Nice little crew view for him.
I'm gonna say 60. Would you say 60?
You know, I'd say 60. I think you're talking between 60 and 70, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick closer to 60, I think.
Fair enough.
It's definitely deep. And he's going to give a big old smile. That's going to put him back in the right mood there. That's the smile we all know and love.
That's a great putt.
Kyle here from very similar position. Looking at.
Did he get big putted?
Yeah, that's a tough one to follow. No.
Oh.
Now the pressure's on John and Pat because these guys just banged it from 55, 60 feet, got themselves a crew view, and now these guys are like, oh, now we can't mess up the star frame. Nice.
What a putt.
Just hyzered it right in there. He got a lot of energy, felt good about it too. This is not an easy hole either from that distance.
Nope. I struggle with this hole.
Yeah, you're a dominant forehand player.
In a sense, but it's just a tricky little hole.
I agree. Pat here, some compromised footing. Oh, and just kisses off the chains. Great bid from him. I'm going to give it a pass because he had some compromised footing. John with the best drive of the group. Just left that wide there. He's kind of just been just off his mark from where I've seen him play before. Still playing pretty well, though.
I know he went through a few injuries, and I know that him at his top game is a very scary athlete to play with. He's very smart with a disc in his hands, and I know that he will recover.
Yeah, lots of experience with him too, so he's been around the block and he knows how to handle it. Hole 17, definitely. Maybe one of the scariest fairways to throw at here. Double OB in the cornfields, both right and left. Kind of want to land it just past these two baby pine trees and then approach this basket, which is another drop off at the end. It is Rollaway City on that backside of the green.
So this OB right and left was just added for this tournament. It's usually not, but usually there are corn stalks that are 6+ feet tall. So it's an OB stroke in a sense by itself. So that's a crush.
I thought he was skipping an OB for sure.
That's a big throw for OB left and right.
Got a lot of grass grab. That was a tongue twister for me for some reason. Yeah,
Dan doing Dan things, right in the middle of the fairway.
Right where he wants to be. I'm not sure what John's throwing here. Maybe a Zeus. Do you think you should try to go for the distance, or do you think Dan's play of laying it short is the better play?
That's such a tough question because you push the distance. Let's say you carry it inbounds down the fairway. You're going to have an easier upshot, but you still have to execute it. So I'm okay with Dan's play. I like the middle of the fairway to approach the basket.
Yeah, I almost sometimes throw mid-range and just cut the hole in half rather than try to take any distance. Because for me, Dan there off a little right there on his approach shot, the approach shot just doesn't make a difference for me being closer. Like, it's just, It's a disc choice for me. But maybe for some guys, it's like, I really want to throw a putter on my second shot, so I got to get aggressive. And two, when you think about it, if you get really aggressive and go OB really like after the pine trees like John did, really the par 4 is easy to save because you just putter shot to the basket and tap in.
Right. And again, you always the drop off behind the basket makes your decision tough for your upshot.
Got Kyle here. Yeah, it's going to be safe and in the grass. He's going to be a little short, though, so we'll see if he gets aggressive and runs that. Yeah, just like I said, John beat the pine tree, so he's way up there, and we'll just see. I'm assuming this is... Oh, I thought he was going to hyzer at this. Maybe a Chally SS or a Chally.
You're in a good spot.
Yeah, 20 feet. You want to be real close for this one. You want like no pressure. Like Pat's got. This is. I think he's going for it.
I think most putters on this green are going to run the basket. What a putt!
Let's go.
Are going to run it more than, let's say, hole 6 basket that's on the stump.
Mm-hmm.
This one draws you into running it more, but knowing that you're still got a long way down behind it.
I think Pat knew where the situation was in the car and just didn't want to give up any additional strokes, so he's going to run it and cash that one in. Kyle feeling motivated. We can't see it. The catch cam is in a bad spot. That was me. So he rolls all the way down the hill, and he's just going to lay up. Almost run it in on accident, but he's going to put it up by the basket, and he's going to have a tap in.
Frustrating for sure.
Dan here from 25. Also, Death Putty. Not quite high enough. John from just a little bit closer.
There he is.
Yeah, he's going to get that 7 spot. You haven't been wrong, Matt. Every time someone's hit it so far in this event, it's gone in.
7 spot always catches. Tapping par for Dan.
That means we have 1 left to go. Hole 18, Matt. What you going to do here?
Classic finishing hole. Hole 18 for the tournament, 24 for the course design. There is no OB, but the woods left is scary, and the course designer wanted you to throw a turnover backhand or a forehand down the middle of the fairway. But you might see a couple of these guys try to throw the big hyzer to land it in the middle, which then gives you an appropriate approach to the basket. It is a true par 4.
I agree. I actually think there is OB on the right side.
Is there? Usually for leagues and things, there's not, but there might be for this tournament.
Yeah, I think for the tournament, he made the cornfield, there's a line along the cornfield. I think he plays that OB. So you can lay it over the cornfield if you can throw over it like Dan's about to do, kind of flex it, but you have to get over the cornfield here in order to get it back in bounds. And he does so beautifully.
That's a beautiful shot.
Best landing spot. I mean, especially if you have a forehand, that's a great landing spot.
Big shout out to an old friend, John Bloxman. I hope you watch this coverage, but I have witnessed him throw in a big drive and then probably a 200-plus foot throw in for a 2 on this hole.
That would have been something awesome to have on the channel. Next time he needs to do it there. Pat is going to hyzer early into those dangerous trees on the left side. We're going to see where he ends up. Whoa. John, I think, hits a pole, and he's going to kick back towards those woods on the left. I don't think he's very far in, though, so we'll see where it goes. There's a big smash for Kyle. Yeah, he needed to get that over more, and I think he nosed up a little bit. But even with that nose up, he's still throwing it way out there. He's also going to be in those left woods. We'll see if he has any out from that position.
The OB, the natural OB left is also, like you can see, John, it's a very scary place to be to get a birdie. Once you either turn over your drive too hard or your forehand turns over to the woods, it's scary over there.
Yeah, Patrick in a dangerous spot here. In fact, he just thumbers it trying to get himself out, and in the process puts him right along the edge again. So it's going to be a tricky upshot from there. Dan in an ideal location doesn't usually utilize the forehand, so he's going to go to his backhand putter here, but he's going to be in circle for that birdie look still. 25, maybe circle's edge.
Most people will approach this second shot with a forehand, but when you got a backhand like Dan, it seems to work just fine.
Yeah, there are some pros that are like James Conrad, right, where they don't need to throw forehands, and Dan's like that. He does have one. He does have a utility forehand that he uses from time to time. It's like a unicorn. Every time he pulls it out, it's a surprise, and every time he throws it, it seems to be perfect.
Look, John, to the tall grass on the left.
He's got a little skinny, yeah. Nice. Close to the basket. Pat's not too far in, so he's going to be on the edge. That's going to save him, I think, a little bit here. He's also going to throw a turnover putter. It's got to stop. Ooh, good route. All right, Dan for the birdie look. Get one more stroke on, folks. Oh, and just a touch short. Not the way he wanted to end it. Still a pretty good day so far for him outside of the 1 or 2 bad breaks he took. The rest of the round's been pretty solid for Dan, honestly. The hole 18 here, averaging 3.73, just a touch under par. So definitely one our leaders want to get. The previous hole was 4.27, so playing over par, just trying to, mitigate damage in that case.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to have to see where the chips fall here. BlueGill, especially with some of these alternate holes, anything can happen. And we're going to have to see how it ends up. And it looks like Vincent is going to take the lead. Patrick Burke only a couple strokes behind. Vincent really with a great neg 6 on the day. And we're going to have Willie Prince, Ian Hamilton, and David Feldberg is actually going to play as a 5th on our lead card for our final round here at BlueGill.
Super excited about that, and thanks again, Zach, for having me on. And if you haven't, go check out Crew 42 because the coverage is awesome.
Thank you, Matt, and we'll see you guys in the final round here. Happy disking, everyone.